All right. Hey, we're back. Yeah, back with the tunnel. Yeah, the tunnel thing right there. Um, last time I went live. I haven't gone live in a while. Oh, no, 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 no. I went live yesterday. What am I talking about? I did a live of that. That dang Karate Kid. Legends. It's kind of weird because I call it Legends sequel, but I mean, it doesn't have as much throwbacks as like stuff like Happy Gilmore 2 and stuff. Anyways, um, a new direction for my channel. Something on the computer called Pilot. That's like the AI thing. I'm having him or her or whatever, make thumbnails, and it was really cool. They knew a lot about metal and stuff because I want to go through and do all 8 episodes of Into the Void, Life, Death, and Heavy Metal. Now I did the Wendy Williams one already. I skipped ahead. I was part 5. I think if I do now, I'd just do it in order. I was gonna watch the Chuck Schillinger one, part 4, but now I'm just doing it in order. I already watched the Wendy Williams one, part 5, and he went back and we did a really cool thumbnail for that. And the thumbnails are all around this same type. Anytime I mean, this one is different, more like a tribute to Randy Rhoads. The other one's more like brutal and metal and stuff, but really cool stuff. Predator advisory stickers and stuff. The AI has a really good idea that it worked with me and stuff. It wasn't like put it like in a sentence or two and then it'll just whip up something. So this one actually works with you. Even though it does make mistakes. Um and I had to do that I had to do a couple things a few times. They was doing like that curry pork with vegetables. They kept want to put a croissant bun on it. It's not a sandwich, it's a Chinese meal with rice, you know. But I mean, for the most part, I mean, they eat good, but I mean, you might have to refresh because they started making mistakes and stuff, or they add stuff on there. I did a thing with who was it? They put Pantera. One of the other metal singers they put Pantera singers on there. No, it's just for the Dimebag Darrell one, you know. But no, that's something new for me. I mean, could I never like? I was never the best at thumbnails and stuff. I mean, I asked people to make them for me, my buddies and stuff. Or then I had John. I mean, I'm not the one that John took photos of each one I did was awesome. I'll never change that. I put my humor in there. Now those stay. I'll never get to take those away at all. They're wonderful. And it was cool because we knocked out all the reviews that day. I edited out. Well, I edited that thing for the Mike's Red Hot. Not Mike's, Frank's hot sauce, the thick stuff. I also edited stuff for fun facts about hand sanitizer and stuff. And I thought it was really cool. And I told John about this show. I saw trailers for it on YouTube, and it's like, man, I want to see that. John said there's so much stuff he's gonna watch. I definitely want to watch that. They still got stuff on Dark Side Ring. I gotta watch that Bash at the Beach. I never knew that was that bad. Cause I never watched WCW. That's from the same people who do this show. It's really cool they're doing it, and it's on Disney, Disney Plus, the Hulu section though. I mean, really cool. Uh, and I got that, and I ended that. I have like a bunch of. I was just going to like different sites and stuff, and just doing a few here, a few there. But Pilot is like a real thing. I teamed up with Microsoft and does really good work. But I mean, sometimes it makes mistakes. You have to ask them, "Could you take this out? Take this out?" But I mean, they do have some ideas and stuff. They work with you, you know. Anyways, I'm here today to review episode 1 of Into the Void. Like I said, I reviewed episode 5. That was the Wendy Williams one. Because she was like all over the place back then. I mean, usually like for metal, people did like punk rock and metal and stuff like that. It was unheard of for them to be on so many shows. But I remember like Slayer. Slayer wasn't on any talk show until, like I said, like Major Network debut. It was like with Jimmy Fallon, like the 2000s. Slayer was never on TV before, I don't think. It was like I remember Dave Letterman had Motorhead on there. No, the very first metal band ever be on a Tonight Show toward the end was Motorhead. They never had metal on there before. I mean, a lot of the late night talk shows ignore a lot of the metal stuff, you know. Um, Wendy Williams was all over the place. She was on the Tomorrow Show. She was on different talk shows. She was on Tomorrow Show. She was on Fridays doing stuff. She was on no on Saturday Night Live. She was on Solid Gold of all places and other stuff, you know. And she was SCTV. But SCTV didn't have any metal stuff either. Except for her, I think she was the only one, you know. Or usually you'd hear there Wendy Williams on the Plasmatics. Well, anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. Oh, and I did buy that Wendy Williams. I did buy that 9th anniversary album because she changed just Wendy Williams, which she be produced by Gene Simmons doing a heavy metal route, and then she went ahead and I remember buying that Wow. It was called Wow Wendy Williams. That was produced by Gene Simmons. I remember buying that. I bought the Plasmatics 9th anniversary album, which was Maggots, the record about global warming, making all these giant maggots, some the size of redwood trees. Very bizarre. One thing really gross about them at the dinner table, I mean, but it was pretty cool. It had like narration and then music in it. I liked it. I liked it a lot. Anyways, let's go back to episode 1 about Randy Rhoads. Now, I mean, the one thing when I think of Randy Rhoads is the Crazy Train video, which is like a tribute to him, like showed like him. And mainly, it was a tribute to him, like showing like Ozzy a little bit, and then all the photos that Randy Rhoads, right? And way back in the day, Black Sabbath was around, and they talk about Black Sabbath, how Black Sabbath, I guess there was animosity and stuff, and then they actually fired Ozzy in like '78, and then he was like really downtrodden for a while. I know him and Sharon were talking about like there were times when they didn't have any money, they might have $80, and that was it. They were really struggling and stuff. And then he met like a bunch of band players, and they talk about Randy Rhoads. I know Randy Rhoads was one of the original members of Quiet Riot. They talk about that too, which is kind of neat. I mean, it was like Kevin LeBron. I guess Kevin LeBron must be a real jerk, right? I remember like my sister and her ex were going to see Quiet Riot, right? And there was this new guitar player they had that was on there. And he said, Kevin LeBron's such an asshole, probably fired about the show. And I guess he did. They said Kevin LeBron just being an asshole. And Quiet Riot, they had some success for a while. And originally, when they first formed, when they talk about Ray Ward talked about his mom being like a very strict music teacher, and he had a choice to pick instrument. He originally went to the guitar, like a maestro stuff. I mean, he formed. He was in along with his best friend. That was the original bass player of Quiet Riot. He formed the band Quiet Riot, Kevin Bro, and they said like didn't know the direction that they wanted to go in because they weren't going anywhere. They said management wanted them to be like the Bay City Rollers, so they said no, we want to do rock and roll and metal, but they were doing the Bay City Roller stuff, and then he eventually left Quiet Riot and went with Ozzy. And he was like amused to Ozzy, like a God said to him, he helped him out. He said in the video he gave him hope. This was after Ozzy passed, but they had a little bit of like a Jack Black, welcome into Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and they have like old clips of Ozzy and stuff. They talk about like how his mother said like well, they had auditions for Ozzy, and he didn't know whether or not to go there because he didn't like Black Sabbath music at all. And his mom said, "Well, why don't you go try out?" Because he wanted to go to do classical music and stuff. Oh, why don't you do this right now? You have a natural gift and stuff. Maybe, just do it. You do well at it. And then he did well. He went really, really far during his first two albums. Ozzy's first two albums, Blizzard of Oz. Blizzard of Oz and Diary of a Madman. And it's weird because they showed Diary of a Madman the set, right? They have like a little dwarf coming out of that. Might be right out of Spinal Tap, and What else was there? They talk about like him being with all this stuff, and then he wasn't like used to he was different. He wasn't used to being successful. He wasn't used to the idea of being a rock star. And there was something that happened I didn't know about. Like, I guess that her dad was still in charge of Ozzy's contract and stuff. They kept Ozzy. I guess him and his daughter get along. His dad and his daughter. I know Ozzy, like Cher was like really close. They were like, even before, I don't know if when they got married or anything like that. She was more heavier, right? She's real skinny now. Not super heavy, but a little bit heavy. And she said to get out of her father, right? Because she wanted to get away because they weren't paying royalties. They said that they had to make a live Black Sabbath album with the rest of the band. They said, all right, we'll do it. Won't promote. We'll just do it and get it done with. And then I know Randy Rhoads didn't want to do the album because he didn't like the music, you know? And I was kind of upset about it, but then, they ended up, I think they ended up doing it anyway. He wasn't mad at him after that. Anyways, it goes to, they're on this bus tour going home. And this was when the accident happened. And this stuff I didn't know about. I didn't know there was like a plane accident. I didn't know exactly. They gave more details to this one and this. And I mean, I guess it's speculation, but I mean, this is new information I didn't know about. They said something happened on the tour bus, like their AC died, right? And they said later on they went to this place to fix the AC, and they also found that they also rented buses, right? But I didn't know they also rented helicopters and small planes. Now, Sharon was saying like she never permits anyone other than like non-essential people to be on the bus or anything like that. And I guess that the bus driver let his wife on there. They were in the midst of getting divorced, and they must have been at nighttime. They must have been fighting back and forth on the bus or something when they weren't around. And also, along with that guy being a bus driver, he's also a pilot. And something happened. His wife laughed or something like that. He said, "Hey, does anyone? Hey, we're gonna ride. You want to ride on a plane with me tonight?" And it was late, early in the morning. I know the band members were sleeping. Randy was up because he's probably a younger kid, more energy and stuff like that. So I was when I was in um, Fort Gordon, Georgia, had lots of energy. And he said, "Hey," he woke up the drum guy. He just woke up and said, "Hey, you want to go for a joyride?" He said, "No, I don't feel like riding a plane right now." He just laughed as he went off there. And like I said, he was up kind of. And I think he went back to sleep. And what happened was, I guess he went up on a plane along with a close friend of theirs named Rachel, I think. It was like a mom to Ozzy and Sharon. And something happened. His wife was outside the bus, so I think he tried to hit her with the plane. He went to turn it so it's perpendicular. I think what happened was that one part of the wing clipped the top of the bus. Because that one drummer guy was trying to take a drink, and when he hit the bus, it shocked him. And all of a sudden, like about 5 seconds later, he heard a giant boom, and everything blew up. And then Randy Randy Rhoads passed away sadly though, and huge loss to the music industry. I know whenever like, hey Kevin, how you doing? I know like whenever like Osborne was asked for drummers and stuff like that when he first before he met Randy Rhoads, like, oh man, everyone wants to be like Eddie Van Halen, right? But I mean, whenever he met Randy Rhoads, it was like 4 in the morning. He was drunk out of his mind. But he stuck out. I think like a day or two later, they were hanging out and writing songs or thinking about what to do, you know. And it was a really good episode, though. I know Sharon was on it. She got choked up. They have like interviews. I guess their mom passed away, right? His mom. But they have interviews with his sister and her husband. And I think the Vice series, like Into the Void, that's cool. They called it that. Or like Dark Side of the Ring, Dark Side Comedy. I gotta watch that Bash at the Beach thing coming up soon. Yeah, I really like it. I think it's a great episode. Pays tribute to Randy Rhoads, and Sharon said, I mean, it's sad because it's like, I'm sure they'll do Cliff Burton next season. I bet, you know, um, and Sharon was losing it, so now you know why I don't want to talk about him. And it's just sad though because some people have so much talent. Some usually happens or they do something bad or something bad happens to them. It's a shame. Anyway, I really like the episode. I think it's really good. I give it like well, it's only 15 minutes long. That's okay. Why do I have it so high? I give it like a 10 out of 10. I really like these series right now. Um, I might do Bash to the Beach. I'm pretty tempted now because Vince Russo always looks like a jerk to me. I thought he looked like a jerk, you know. And I didn't know. I never followed WCW. Cause I was watching like these shoot interviews, right? I mean, people like I remember like Mean Gene Oakland, or Bonnie and Brain, Mean Gene Oakland. Those are the two I like the best. Bonnie and Brain's really funny, and then Greg Hammer Valentine. I mean, these are really like good. I think Dad will really enjoy if he was still alive these wrestling ones. So we watched wrestling stuff on on YouTube before. Like when Stone Cold did that show, they had a couple episodes like bootlegged on YouTube. We watched. That was good. And one with interview with Paul Heyman, which is really fascinating. Anyways, I don't know what season two is coming out, but I definitely watch it. Um, and yeah, I hope you like this video. I hope you like the thumbnail too that goes with it. It's pretty cool. So I guess that's it, everybody, for my review of episode one of Into the Void, Love, Death, and Metal. I hope you all like the video. Until next time, please take care, my legion. All right, take care. There you go. I want too bad. Oh, no, not that one. No. All right, take care. Take care, my legion.